Welcome everybody to the Dreambuildrs podcast. I am super excited for the upcoming interview. Today, our guest is Antonio Vega. He's the CEO of Enappgy, who is on a mission to implement sustainable solutions that deliver concrete results and impact for the human race. And he's an expert in helping owners and users of commercial real estate to make their buildings more smart and sustainable. And the reason why I'm so excited to talk to him is to really find out, why he decided to become an entrepreneur, first of all. And secondly, also why he's taking the action to really make this world more sustainable, which I think is absolutely very, very inspiring. So, Antonio, welcome, man.
Thank you, Jochem. Thank you for the invitation and the chance to be here. I'm also really excited. Thank you.
I'm very honored to have you here because I think it's funny, like we didn't meet in an entrepreneurial way, first of all.
No, exactly.
Go back to 2012, right? 2012 or 13?
13,
I bet you
Yeah.
in Portugal on a Mexican wedding of
our friend Emilio.
common friend Emilio, amazing guy. We had lots of fun on the wedding.
A
little bit too much fun because I remember when the tequila bottles came in.
That was a nice party, I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
It was until the next day. Yeah. It was great.
Well, until 5 a.m. at least, but good times.
Yeah, great.
I kept following your work. So, I really want to know from 2012 onwards on, you have been obviously been becoming more entrepreneurial in sustainability and so on. Can you perhaps tell us why you started that journey, why that's so important for you?
Yeah, I believe the journey to entrepreneurship started since I was a kid. I totally forgot it, literally, but my mother remembered me last time I saw her that I started a company like delivering of groceries door to door with 3 friends with her money. She never got back her investment, but then started everything. To try to understand added value propositions, etc. I was then really focused in my career. I used to be a swimmer, so all the focus and time went there. But that's something that that chance to start something from scratch really was already there inside of me. And when I had the chance to create a company, I was always looking for possibilities to do that internationally. And we had the chance to start a company in Europe. My first approach was to start in Spain, of course, for the weather and food. But culturally was a better match. And I did a master in project management there. But then I got to meet a great Dutch entrepreneur in the Netherlands. And that's kind of, one of the reasons of starting the company here. And to be honest, I've seen always entrepreneurship as the way of creating an amazing life. And the reason why is that you are constantly tested, you are constantly pushed, and you are constantly brought to the limit of your capabilities and therefore expansion. I remember the first year that I was here, I couldn't even speak the language. I didn't know how to use the public transport, for example. We're now 6 years later. I'm running a team of 6 people here. So it's fantastic, just the chance to do that. And it's because of entrepreneurship, to be honest. I've been pushed in a way that is not possible in a normal job, I will say. But that's my opinion. I understand there are also great jobs. And the sustainability mindset of heart that comes from an experience in Mexico. I had a chance to volunteer with another friends during a climate disaster, trying to help poor people that lost everything in water. How do you say that? Flood.
Flood. Yeah.
Flood. Yeah, flooding. Yeah, and then you start seeing the impact, and you see how little you can actually do at that moment.
Yeah.
You can be the smartest, you can be the strongest, you can swim really good, but there's nothing you can do at that moment. So in my opinion, and that's kind of the reason of starting in sustainability, is that the moment is now. It is actually, we're already late, but the moment is now to really deliver, of implement projects, of deliver technologies that can help us to prevent really these horrible situations that when human beings can do really little. So it is now the moment to act. So those two are kind of the ways of the starts of the journey where I am now.
Beautiful, man. I think it's really cool. You mentioned a lot of interesting things, and I think one of the things that I want to zoom in on a little bit is also that you mentioned that you have a very big sports background, right, in swimming.
Yeah.
I know that also because of your friend Emilio,
yes,
who's a common friend of us. But what did that sport background give to you, like in terms of thinking entrepreneurial, in terms of going outside of your comfort zone and those kind of things? What did it give to you as an entrepreneur right now?
I think it's the look, since I was 12, I learned to get up early in the morning and start 5 o'clock in the swimming pool, and then go to school, and then come back to the swimming pool again to train, weekends, travel, etc. So for competitions. So I believe the philosophy I would say is something is embedded in athletes worldwide, and is pretty much the same all over the place. My best friends here in the Netherlands used to be swimmers. They used to be swimmers. So you see exactly the same kind of mentality. It doesn't have to be per se in a way of entrepreneurship, but yes, it gives the basis of what you need to do this. Some people said, and I agree totally, that being an entrepreneur is pretty much the same on a top athlete. You are again tested. You have to train. You have to perform. If you are sick, you have to go. You have to continue pushing until you score a project, or you go further with the development, etc. And that's something you see constantly in a sport. So professional sport, I would say. So that's what I learned there.
Thanks, man. And then secondly, I would like to zoom in on that natural disaster that happened, because that might perhaps have been a defining moment for you as well to really think about how we can make this world more sustainable. That's what you said. So like, what did you feel in that moment? Were you like, now I really have to do something about this?
It is less drastic than it may sound. I was there as a project of my university. You just can volunteer and go and try to help in many other ways, but this was one of them. And I believe to be able to see, people that have so little losing everything, or houses that are driving in the water that used to be streets. That it didn't impact me in a negative way of saying, we are doomed or something like that. I'm not an activist, to be honest. I'm a businessman, and therefore I see value in what we do. Also the creation of wealth through sustainability. So when I saw that, I saw a chance. I saw a chance to do something positive, and to create be able to attach that to a company, and just create something profitable, something interesting for customers, something interesting for us, and worthwhile waking up in the morning.
Amazing. So now you wake up with a smile on your face every morning because you love what you do, right?
I do most of the time. Sometimes it's really difficult. As I said, we're literally right now in a difficult situation with this COVID challenges for all of us. Delays in projects. Everybody is just waiting to see what's going to happen. So, that brings stress and sometimes sleepless nights. So,
yeah, I can imagine. So you just mentioned something about like kind of a sweet spot for you as an entrepreneur is like you mentioned sustainability, you mentioned profitability, but also delivering lots of value for your customers. Can you tell us more about your mission and what you're doing with Enappgy?
Yeah,
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, look, what happened in countries like the Netherlands, where the kilowatt hour is really cheap, is you go to a meeting and you get to know owners of buildings, of users of buildings, and save money is not really sexy. Let's say it like that. In my opinion, is to achieve really concrete results towards solving the problem of climate change. It's not about saving money. It's not about saving energy, and therefore money. It is more about what can you do with that efficiency. What kind of information you can gather, there with that being able to pay for the infrastructure that you need in your building, and therefore, actually get the same concept of a smartphone. Your smartphone is the best for you because you choose which applications you use there and how do you use your smartphone, and the same for me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're delivering. You can see it as there's a necessity of there's a waste of energy consumption worldwide in real estate. 50% of offices, for example, before the COVID situation, now the cycles are changing, was unoccupied. 50% in average per year, the square meters in a building are not properly occupied. So that's a lot of value for an owner, let's say, to being able to maximize their usage in that moment, or now, for example, being able to create pandemic proof work environments. Everything, all that data is delivered by energy savings achieved already in the building based on lighting and climate installations. So I'm trying not to really make it so wide because we will need 2 hours to really deep into that. But the message is really simple: is sustainability in its own is not going to do it. It's just not going to make it. It's just not sexy enough. You need added value. You need something else, something that in this case, what I said, owners or users of buildings can see as improvement in their primary processes, and therefore making worthwhile their investment. Doing the investment.
If we then, like you said, like how can we make it sustainability sexier? Like if we look at that, what is one of the, let's say, sexiest projects that you have been working on?
You can talk about schools, for example. Right now, because of the pandemic situation that we're in, it is proven through the authorities that the ventilation system are not working properly. That means that the contagious ratios are higher, and it's just not healthy for the students. So the way the proposition is bring an infrastructure of sensors in the building that is going to save huge amount of energy in lighting and climate installations. And with those same sensors, gathers more data that can proactively modify the ventilation necessary in the rooms. For example, I don't know, the building is programmed on 9 o'clock, start warming up in the winter. But if the system detects that there's nobody there until 10 o'clock, you are wasting 1 hour there.
Why would you heat it up, right?
Exactly. And that happens constantly.
Yeah.
So again, it's not only about the energy savings, but being able to provide, in this case, for this example, healthy study environments for all kind of levels in the educational sector.
Mm-hmm. And you just mentioned like it's a pretty like big problem. Like 50% of you said 50% of the real estate in the Netherlands is mostly empty when it comes to commercial buildings, right?
Is underutilized. So
okay, not utilized.
And that was before the pandemic. Now it's actually the opposite. Let's say that the information that we delivered before the pandemic, everybody was looking at the dashboards at the red spots. Let's say, this is really busy. This is not busy. Here we can redesign the office to make it more attractive to come to meet, or cleaning services, for example. You can also coordinate that. And now it's about okay, I don't want to see how can we maximize the usage of the building, but I want to guarantee that the distance, the social distancing is really being respected inside the buildings. Think about meeting rooms, for example, that nowadays they say you can have maximum 5 people here.
Yeah.
The system detects a 6th of a 7th person in the room, and that can trigger an automatic alert, and you can prevent really, not really positive. You prevent a negative impact in the organization of that company in processes.
Wow. That's amazing. And if we look at like energy savings and the projects that you're doing, like what is the ultimate benefit for companies to hire you? Let's say, like what kind of results are you getting out there, like in terms of?
We have a proposition in 3 steps. The first one we call that smart lighting. Mm-hmm. This is a renovation of lighting with integrated sensors. Really simple, the lowest investment possible with the highest performance, and that normally the return of investment of those of that level is about under the 5 years. The second level, we add software to start doing the proactive control of climate installations, for example. Mm-hmm. And that reduces the return of investment to about 2.5 years. And we call that smart energy. And the last one, the last level is smart buildings. And then is where the applications start taking a role in this situation. And then depending on the customer, they can use one application for occupancy, or the other one wants, for example, to monitor the machinery for predictive maintenance, or the other one was to use asset tracking for example, in logistic centrums, etc. And then the return on investment, I can tell you from a customer that in their words, one day that the machinery is downtime in their processes, the machinery has a problem, it costs them about 1 million euros per day.
Wow.
Per day. If you calculate the whole chain, you have transport, you have storage, you calculate people, etc. If you do all the calculations, it's really expensive, and if you are able to deliver data that can prevent that, then you are talking about really a serious impact, positive impact for these kind of organizations.
What is the biggest project so far that you've been working on?
Right now, we just delivered for a logistics centrum. It's a building about 50,000 square meters.
Okay.
And
a lot of football fields.
yeah, exactly. And right now the infrastructure is just installed, and then we're going to move forward with them in their monitoring of energy, probably thrilling of machines, for example. You can also monitor water or gas usage and combine that data to provide predictive maintenance analytics and help them to, in a proactive way, make maintenance of the facility instead of sometimes guessing or saying, you know, every quarter we want to do this. Now they can say, actually, we need it only 2 times per year.
Yeah.
So you can go again. You can start working more efficient with enough data, with the correct data, accurate data, and therefore actionable insights that you can use.
That's what I like, actionable insights, because then it becomes real, right? I mean, that's when companies get something about it, they can start doing something with those things.
Yeah,
I would love to know, because I think it's a hard business that you're in. Like, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing to make everything more sustainable and more energy efficient?
I believe that one of the challenges, there are multiple challenges, but one of the challenges is that we are used to do things in a certain way. There are some companies that deliver services, for example, monitoring in a, let's say, a traditional way. Or, for example, let's put a concrete example. There are companies that you can hire to deliver reports of occupancy in your building. So these companies come 1 or 2 times per year, and then deliver you a copy of the occupancy percentages and ratios in the building and areas and zones, etc. Is that effective? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I cannot talk about another companies, of course, but what I can tell you is that real-time data is going to be much more valuable, and you can deliver real-time information, and that's going to help actually take the steps that you need to take in order to, in this case, in this period of pandemic times, ensure healthy environments. And you cannot do that with a hard copy of a one-time visualization of the occupancy of the building.
Yeah. So that's a big challenge that you're facing, right?
Yes. Again, when you come on the table and you people is still energy savings is, I believe, is already everybody pretty much understands.
Yes.
What's going to be the results, for example, on lighting, or what's going to be the results on of climate improvement in performances. But when you talk about the applications, then not everybody is open for those or don't really see the value. So the challenge for us right now, and we are starting to see some changes in the market, is that the acceptability of the data, that people is starting to see the added value in data, again, the right data, accurate data, and that they can take smart decisions based on that information. So it's a learning process, but at the same time, it's also an opportunity, because there are really few companies that are delivering concrete results, and therefore it's really interesting to be somewhere there in the market.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, because when companies look at that, I think it also has to look at, they're also looking at like the kind of when they get their returns, right? And most companies, what you said, they're mostly short-term still focused, and they're not looking at the long term and what the real benefit is going to be in the long run. Yeah. So that's also something that you face. I want to get to zoom in a bit on you again, on you as an entrepreneur. What is your biggest learning lesson in your life as entrepreneur? Like, what is your biggest experience so far?
Really a philosophical question.
There are so many things that I would love to share. I knew you were going to ask me that, so I thought, yeah.
What's the most important one for you?
Yeah, I believe to learn that success is not something you are chasing. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about I work 20 hours per day. So it's just not like that. It is about becoming the person that attracts that success. And I started understanding, at least that I'm still learning, but understanding that concept, I believe, 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to really deep into books, into I have a really a group of entrepreneur friends,
Mm-hmm.
like-minded people. So I believe develop develop yourself in order to achieve that. That's the biggest lesson that I can think of now, at least.
Yeah, no, but it's valuable because when you're talking about surrounding yourself with like-minded people, I think it's very valuable for anyone who is operating in any kind of business. So that you can share, learn, and grow together. I think that's really cool. And you also mentioned something that you're like reading books and so on.
Yeah.
That you're deep diving yourself into those kind of materials. Can you perhaps mention an example of a book that really helped you, or what was like super insightful for you?
Yeah. You know what's really funny is that pretty much in everything that you want to become better, there's a book of that. So yeah, I don't know. I was reading just a book about meditation, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I've been reading a couple of books of sales techniques, and I believe one of the books that helped me to maybe start this process or really understand what it is to become a better version, to attract that success that you want, the people that you want, the money that you want, the success, the relationships around you that you want, is Think and Grow Rich.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Napoleon Hill. I will say that's a really good start. Yeah, there are some crazy ideas based on 100 years ago, but Napoleon was a crazy person in my opinion. But I believe there are some really interesting things or start points that everybody can really have a good use of. And it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or not. I believe it's a really good book to start developing yourself.
And what was perhaps the biggest learning lesson from that book that you got from Napoleon Hill?
Yeah, I believe what I just said. Surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Having you call that the mastermind in his concept, the mastermind group of people that are also struggling with that also want to grow, that also want to achieve certain things in life. And I think that's a really good one of the book.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing that, man. And I would love to look a bit forward, to look at your vision. Like, have you ever thought about like the kind of legacy that you wanna kind of leave behind, or have you ever thought about that? I would love to know more how that world looks like for you.
Yeah, I read also another book from I just forgot his name, but anyway, the idea is that the definition of success is being able to lay down in your deathbed and say, oh, that was a good ride.
Yes,
that's it. I think that I would say is that whether it's with my wife, with my friends, just maximize every single experience, and of course create a really sustainable company that outlasts me, and being able to do more with less, maybe I would say, and through the correct use of technology, being able to solve the problem of climate change. I think that that will be kind of my summarize of how do I see the future when I'm gone.
I think that's pretty cool. And how would you see Enappgy growing in the next couple of years? Because you guys have some amazing projects. You're doing amazing things. Very inspirational.
Yeah.
What do you foresee in the next couple of years?
Yes, we have a really drawn roadmap of first of all software development. We have some really cool things coming up next year, and we are now 6 in the company. We're gonna hire another 2 persons. I'm not sure if they're gonna be in the Netherlands. These guys will be software engineers, so I mean they could be all over the world. I believe every time more and more focused, more driven in the applications and the added value there. We have a good start. We have a good advantage now in the market, and we have to just go and focus even more in the applications. That's kind of the future.
Wow, super inspiring.
Something I forgot to say, sorry about the company is the Netherlands will remain as the headquarters in Europe. So next year was planned for this year, but next year we have our first project in Spain. We are in conversation for a project in Germany. So we're going to be starting expanding in Europe and focus only in Europe for the moment. So that's also really an important part of the roadmap.
Wow. So like expansion, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome, man. I'm gonna keep following your work because I'm very interested in what you're doing and how you're contributing to create a more positive impact in this world. I think it's very inspirational. Before we round up, I want to ask one last question, and that's perhaps for everybody who wants to, start as an entrepreneur. Like, what is perhaps one last advice that you could give anybody who wants to start that path as well and really wants to live out what they truly want?
One of the really important lessons that someone can learn as soon as possible is to learn how to work on the business and not in the business. There's a huge difference there, and as soon the faster you learn to work on the business, the better. And with that, you have to learn. There will be maybe some of your viewers have an amazing idea of a software or of a product or something like that, and they are only focused in making that better and better and better. And maybe that's something I have. We say, yeah, I have the best product. Buy from me, almost. But that doesn't work like that. You have to learn about legal. You have to learn about accountancy. You have to learn about sales. You have to learn about business in general, managing people, etc. So the more complete your capabilities,
yes,
the bigger the chance of success. So and the faster you learn that, the better. That will be my tip for your viewers.
Thanks, man. I think that's a beautiful way to wrap up. And I want to thank you first of all for your time, for your energy, to be here sharing your journey and also to share your work with Enappgy. And we can find you on LinkedIn, right? Antonio Vega. And then also Enappgy, we can find it on your website, correct?
Yes.
Enappgy.com?
.com, yes.
Enappgy.com. So please go check him out, Antonio Vega. Look what he's doing out there in this world, all these amazing projects that he is initiating with his team. And then Antonio, thanks, man, for this conversation.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. And to the listeners, everybody, I'm looking forward to see you back soon, and thanks for listening. Thank you.